So yes, let's just go to the first story for today, which is the Emir of Kano said something, and of course it has made a lot of people question the rule of the leadership or how they lead. Well, this one says he says that the Emir of Kano and the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Sanusi Lamido, has said he got to know what poverty truly is when he mounted the throne. Now, Sanusi said this in a goodwill message at a public lecture with the name Weaponizing of Poverty as a Means of Underdevelopment, which is a case study of Nigeria, and commemorating the 60th birthday celebration of former River State Rotimi Amechi in Abuja. The former CBN governor said that many of the elites in Nigeria do not know what poverty is. As an economist, the former CBN governor said, "I see the numbers. I did not know poverty until I became the emir." Now, Sanusi charged those saddled with the responsibility of leadership to inculcate the virtues of empathy with those they have been given a responsibility to lead. As also speaking at the event was the former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai, expressed concern that Nigerians kept repeating the same mistake of electing the worst among us into leadership positions. Well, that was a very deep one. But well, I'm going to start with you, Chief, definitely. Now, this, he said, is something that I think and I believe is the same position for a lot of our politicians, and I feel like some even understand what poverty is, but on getting to that position, they forget what poverty is and just all want to fill themselves with whatever they could get, or whatever they see, they just put their hands on and take it because they know it's not going to be there forever. But what do you say about this? So first thing is, we know this is happening. Is there a way that the leaders can actually feel the poverty and not see it in numbers, or see it in letters or press release and all of that?
This is breaking news. You ask me if Sanusi, who grew up in Kano and who understand the culture of Amajiris, is coming out today to say that until he became emir, that's when he understood the real meaning of poverty. I wouldn't say it's lying, but I want to say that whether what was Sanusi doing in CBN for almost about 4 years, that he didn't understand what poverty is in Nigeria. I keep saying the definition of poverty in the dictionary does not capture what the real poverty is in Nigeria. I used to let a lot of people that if you want to know the definition of poverty, come to Nigeria, go to the rural areas. You will see poverty walking on the streets. All right? You will see what it is. Blossom said maybe some of our politicians are forgetting. No, they pretend to forget. I think that is the best phrase for they pretend to forget.
Can I come in there? And so, like Blossom asked, and you're speaking on Sanusi really and the Almajaris. I know that some of the Almajaris goes to their palace to beg for food. They cook for them and they give them small little money. Is that not poverty? Is he saying he has not seen those kind of people in his palace before?
You see, that's what I'm telling you. They pretend to forget. I mean, from the upbringing, the normal Hausa Fulani people, the way they grow up, no matter how rich you are, you still get mixed up with, unlike people from the south, that when they make a little money, they isolate themselves from the society. The average Hausa Fulani man get mixed up with the community, the society, and they understand what their people are going through. And the very reason that we have, consciously forget to elevate the living poverty of Nigerians is to say that the politicians understand the weapon of poverty. That when you are poor, you can be made to do anything, right? When you are poor, you can be made to do anything. You can be, you live a life of servitude, right? You obviously unconsciously become a slave to those who have money. And I watch politics in UK, US, in Canada, and I've not seen how the very essence of poverty is when you even give salt as a gift during campaign, because you know these people need salt, and when you see how they are rushing and struggling and stamping on themselves to get the salt. Please permit me to make this joke. One day I asked my wife, you have never asked me, you have never told me salt is out of the house. Why? But you tell me that there is no sugar, there is no milk, there is no
Salt is cheap.
what is it called? There is no choco
cereal.
Yeah. But you are not telling me that there is no salt. Despite all of that, people still struggle to collect salt. It shows that for Emir Sanusi to say that, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I feel he's not telling the truth. He is known poverty, he has seen poverty before he even become the CBN governor. Don't forget, Emir Sanusi was the MD and CEO of First Bank. And I remember in his time as First Bank, he was touted to become an emir, and it's his time as emir, a CBN governor, he used to go to his place turban, and he could see those people coming out, and he sees them. So I feel that most times our politicians are elite, speak to the gallery, wants to, like Amechi said, also Rotimi Amechi said on his birthday that he's hungry, and I'm asking someone who has never in his life worked, has never engaged in any enterprise that we know that he says this is the private enterprise that Rotimi Amechi was. As soon as he finishes NYC, he became a PA to Dr. Odili. After then, he became the House of Assembly member, he became the speaker, he became the governor, he became the transport minister twice. And how can that person be hungry in Nigeria? Perhaps he could tell us that his own people are hungry. That means he must have starved them while he was doing all of those things. So at the end of the day, I think he's speaking to the gallery. They do not take the very core issues to heart. So they thrive in speaking to the gallery, making people. I've given people talking points, and I think it's just a minor talking point.
Okay, all right. I want to ask Comrade. Can we have Comrade on the screen? So, Comrade, like you heard, Chief said he believes that the Emir is trying to, play to the gallery, not say the truth about it. But my question is it possible, like he said, he has worked with some banking institution before becoming the former CBN governor, and do you think in all of these stances, him moving up the ladder, do you think at some point he might have truly lost touch of what it is to understand what poverty is and just see it in numbers? Do you think it's very possible, or you actually believe or told the same line with Chief Godio Fose?
Yeah, well, with all due respect to Emir of Kano, Alaji Lamid Sanusi, the Emir of Kano. You see, I see it as just a statement being made, by somebody in such a position, to placate Nigerians. Emir Sanusi was brought up in affluence in the city of Kano. He was living in a royal life, even as a student at the Ahmadu Bello University. He was living in affluence, but he has seen the gap from his childhood between the rich and the poor. He was fortunate to be amongst the children of the rich, and he has seen that there are boundaries for him to have seen that in every society, especially in Nigeria, we have the poor, the rich, and those that are in the middle class. So for him now to have said that it was when he became the Emir of Kano that he never knew before that Nigerians are so poor, it's just a statement that is not even, I so much respect him because sometimes I like his delivery when he's invited as guest speaker or as guest speaker to some of the events, some of the, occasion I've been appointed to attend with him. But that such statement should not have come from him. That was why I'm just trying to pursue. If ordinarily that comes from another person, I would have said yes, we know how politicians talk. But for an emir, and not just an ordinary emir, an intellectual, somebody who sells intellectual property, somebody who is, well lettered, to have made that statement that it was when he became the emir that now Nigerians are poor. Since time immemorial, we have been hearing of Almajiris. As the emir have been seeing Almajiris as a child when he was growing up. So it's just something that ordinarily one should not take as a very serious. It's not a national issue, but I don't know what the emir was trying to, derive from such statements, because ordinarily even a blind man and a blind man feels poverty. A deaf man, even as deaf as he or she is, yes, and have the feeling of how the country has been ravaged in poverty. So poverty is in the higher side of this country, and the government is doing nothing to address the poverty state of our people. And moreover, he was once the former governor of the central bank. He understands. He should know, the statistics there, of the poverty level of Nigerians. So are you not telling me that you have not seen them or you don't know they exist? So definitely when he was the central bank governor, he has not been supporting people who are poor, in terms of, loans and supporting the scheme. So maybe he has been giving out, empowerment and support to the rich, not without, giving cognizance to the fact that there are some people who are vulnerable, who are, really poor, in essence. Some people are born poor. In those days, people are born poor. Today, we have people who are mentally poor. And today, again, people who are having poverty of the mind, which is the major thing now that has become a menace in our country. Poverty of the mind. That is the major problem now. So, I'm just trying to I don't want to hold myself back. Because that statement,
yes, comrade, very quickly, just to, apologies for interjecting. I hope comrade can hear me from the studio. Apologies for interjecting. Now, you both said something, Chief Godi, and you said something. He has probably never lived, he literally never lived that style. The style of, or that lifestyle where, he mingles with the poor or see them in that light. You say Amajiris, he grew up there and all of that. It's very possible he has never really understood what poverty is from being a child. You said that. He was born in the palace, right? He grew up having the money, and who knows how he was living his lifestyle then. But maybe now being a leader, because he can now liaise with people one-on-one, or get to move around the community without being in his AC fitted car or something. Maybe that's why he got to understand what poverty is in the true sense, because I've seen a lot of celebrities, a lot of people who have gone out, not just into the streets, and some of them, they're not even that wealthy, they are probably comfortable, and you'd see they'll be like, I thought people are suffering, but now I understand that people see. Trust me, I've seen things online sometimes. I'll be like, really, people are really going through this, because it depends on what you've been exposed to that you would understand the level of poverty. So I think, I don't know, I feel like it's quite different. But what do you say about that before I get the response of Chief Godi? Very quickly.
That can't be true. There's no way. That can't be true. There is no way. You will live in a society, you grew up in a society, you will not know that there is, a class. You can't grow up. Some people were trained, they were trained and brought up with a silver spoon. Some people were brought up with a golden spoon. Some people we are brought up with not even having any spoon. So as a child, like you said, that maybe you may not understand. Who told you that? You now think that a child that is being taken to school, you know, the father or the mother's driver will wait for him at the school gate, at the close of school, they will take him home and they will bring him back to school. And other, you know, children, other pupils will trek home, will not see the, you know, the boundary or the difference between himself and children. Do you get it now? So if Emir Sanusi has been in Kano and he tell me he doesn't understand what Almajiri or he has not been seeing it, he understands. Almajiris are people who come to take leftovers, even when the fathers, you know, and the mothers of Emir Sanusi, you know, when they finish it, the leftovers will be, you know, taken over. So you now tell me that somebody who had the main food, the main meal, then the leftovers, you know, somebody's other children will now come and start scavenging for the leftover of those. We not have that thinking, you know, that these people, you know, they are less privileged or they are poor. So it's not even worth it. Get it now, because poverty stares us in our face in this country from childhood. You know, since we are born, we are not so opportune, you know, to be in the class of the rich. But at least some of us, our parents are obviously rich, and we are brought up in an environment that, at least even as we grew up in that environment, we see some people that are still better than. We still see some children. Even when we are going to school, we are putting on shoes. You know, or learners, don't let me do, they are no longer, you know, in existence now. We put on these batter shoes or learner shoes that my parents will buy for me, you know, at the stores. But I do not know that people in my class, some children will not, some people don't come with shoes. Now they don't come with shoes, they don't need not to talk of a petrol slipper. So I not telling you that.
All right.
I will not know the parents of that, you know, that friends of my dad.
Okay, thank
you get
you so
some
much.
of us have good school uniform. Our uniforms are not taught. You know,
thank you so much, comrade.
Uniforms to school, but we saw some of our mates who have taught that they even have one.
All right, thank you so much, comrade. Thank you so much, Chief Godi. Thank you, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's.
Yes, I don't know what time Comrade is coming to. Comrade, you should find time to come to the studio.
Okay, so yes, in reaction to said, and of course what he said, you know, but he does not buy the idea of it's not possible for you to understand.
I don't think there is any big man in Nigeria. Since we are within, you are in the political circle in this country that do not know what poverty is. Yeah. And poverty, even the president cannot say that, because like this salad that is coming, people queuing in Babylon, they will see people there, and you know that is very significant symbol of poverty. Even if Sanusi was born in the palace, I mean, Hausa Fulani setting is a classical example. You see beggars, you see very poor, very the wretched of the earth coming to the palace to beg for food. So as a child, he could have seen them.
True.
As a child grows, went to Federal Government College, he has also seen that on his way to the school, he has also seen schools that are not befitting for people to study. That is another classical example of poverty. Right? As he grow up, it works. He has seen class. There are classes. He knows he understands about the lower class, the middle class, and the upper class, and he understands no class. All right. So for him to come up, like I said, it is playing to the gallery. It's all good. That's very.
What is reason for playing to the gallery?
Yeah, because the big man will always give you a talking point, and that's why we are here talking. All right, that's why we are here. A big man will always give you the talking point. On May 29, Mr. President said the worst is behind us. Is it true? Is it true? He said the worst behind us, and we saw politicians falling over themselves to place advertorial to praise the 2 years. And I'm asking, where do you see in this country an average poor people gather to say that Mr. President, without being coerced, without being coordinated. They have now been mobilized, because that's the very word that the politicians use to say that, Mr. President, you have changed our fortune. We are beginning to see our 1 naira now is our naira. We can buy things in the market, we can feed. But you cannot see those ones. Because it is not whatever achievement they must have achieved does not touch that the wretched. I call them the wretched of the earth. I've seen poverty. I know where I come from. All right, I have seen poverty. This is not a platform for me to say that. For me to fight myself to climb to this lower class that I am, because I'm not even middle class, the lower class that I am, and I know what I work to do that. So for any average big man, from president, vice president, is this Shetima that will tell you, I don't know what poverty is? A man that grew up in Borno State, Maiduguri, and you understand that people in that area. Why was Goodluck Jonathan spending some time during Sanusi's tenure as a CBN governor building Majiri schools? What is a significant identity of a poor man when Sanusi witnessed mass wedding every time in the north? They marry women who do not have identity to other men. Is that not first and foremost a classical example of poverty? So until he became Emir, that's when you understand that means if that is true, there's something significantly wrong with us.
But it's the first time that he's becoming an Emir.
No, he said when he became that Emir that he became before he was dethroned. No, there's something significant about us. There's something very fundamentally wrong about an average Nigerian big man. When we begin to speak well power like Rotimi Amechi is doing, all right, we begin to speak when we're out of power, when the likes of El-Rufai is speaking. Remember, they said they wanted to do the twilight of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. They wanted to ensure that vote buying and people that stockpile the old naira to buy votes, wanted to change naira, wanted that those things would not happen. It was El-Rufai that led other APC government to the Supreme Court. Today, old and new naira, for the first time in this country, is enjoying attention. Old and new naira. We don't even know the currency that we are using, whether it's or it's big.
We just know we have.
So you can see how fused the average big man in Nigeria is. They only get to talk when they are pushed to the corner.
Okay, let's pick a call. Let's see if this would go through. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ichibo.
Okay, your name, sir?
My name is Evangelist Samson Iramo.
Okay, Evangelist Samson. Please go ahead while listening.
No, so what I just want to talk concerning the issue we are talking about, that the person that says he doesn't know about poverty, and in the Quran, I believe when it's in the Bible, Deuteronomy chapter 7, God told us that there will be four people in the land. And I know that they have the same Quran. The wife is that he don't know anything about poverty, and I believe that even if he don't know, he asked his father, when he see people begging, those beggars that used to come to beg.
Yeah.
He will ask them, what is this? Who are these people like this? I believe they will have told him and say, these people are poor, they don't have something to eat. So for you to come and say, don't know anything about poverty is a big lie.
Okay.
I want to talk. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Evangelist. Thank you so much. Well, like you said,
so you really book recognize poverty.
Poverty, of
so
course.
and the man that's supposed to be the Emir, always the Emir, because I learned 2 Emirs in Kano as we speak. I wouldn't know. The other one has not been officially dethroned. One is by the federal government and the other one recognized by the state. Whatever that is, the of the matter is that an average big man in Nigeria, they are all. You see what is happening in the National Assembly. My brother, President enjoying. By the time the table is turned, they will begin to sing like a lady.
Let's even chip this in second topic very quickly. I won't be able to play video because of our time. Well, the Senate President Akpabio has actually applauded Tinubu's leadership, saying that Nigerians have lived improved lives for like 2 years now. Well, he described it as a transformative leadership, and that has revived Nigerian confidence in the country's true future. He also highlighted the administration commitment to inclusive development, referencing the establishment of development commissions across all geopolitical zones and major infrastructural projects like the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and Lagos-Maiduguri routes. He also praised the armed forces for intensifying their efforts against terrorism and crime, attributing improved security to Tinubu's leadership, adding that the increased calls for Tinubu to seek re-election in the 2027 are a reflection of his achievement and credibility. So what would you say about this? Because
so I want to ask,
right,
those who also campaigned for Buhari for the second term, what were his achievements?
Okay.
Those who
campaigned for
who rolled up the drums and said former President Muhammadu Buhari must return. What were his achievements? You see, the problem that we have is that, like I told you, that is not, to me, it's no news. For Akpabio to praise president, it's no news.
But do you think he has actually?
It's just like you saying that my wife should come out and tell the public that I'm a bad man. But if my wife says I'm a terrible human being, it's news. All right? They say in journalism 101, when a dog bites a man, it's no news.
It's no news.
But when a man now bites a dog, it becomes a news.
Pregnant a dog,
it becomes a news. So what am I saying? Of course, Akpabio is the Senate President in the APC. He has benefited so much from the president. The only achievement that I'm hearing is that this government has made so much money, has given states so much money. They have given so much allocation. There is so much money, and the money is not trickling down to the people. We are not enjoying the money. Okay, in terms of achievements, he said about Lagos coastal. It's just from what I heard, it's not up to about 30% of the work done. So how do you celebrate your daughter, your son, write JAM, the just concluded JAM, and he scored 30% of the total mark? Will you celebrate such a child? You see, it's only in Nigeria that you see people celebrating the absurd. Why don't you wait? This project is completed.
Yes.
Before you,
we can now say, because first the project has to be complete. All right, we cannot say, Mr. President, you have given us one of the best roads ever. All right, just 30% we are celebrating. That is the reason why he has to come back. Maybe when he has not finished and he get to 70% in the second year, we have to beg National Assembly to give him the benefit of the doubt to go for third time so that he can complete it. You see, these are the kind of things that we continue to see in our political space, and that's why not an average Nigerian politician is respected out of this country by anybody.
okay,
Chief,
anyways,
question,
let's direct it to Comrade. Comrade, do we have Comrade? Please, can Comrade be back on our screen? Thank you. All right, Patricia, go ahead.
It's really a question you've been asking, and I really would have loved to get an answer to that question today. So we pose that question because it's been bothering me too. Why is 2026 removed from our calendar? I don't know.
It's not as if it's removed. It's because
everybody's
looking at the destination. Nobody's looking at that is an average Nigerian problem. Nobody's looking at the process. Everybody's looking at the destination. How you get is nobody's business. But first and foremost, you must actually examine, scrutinize, and evaluate the process to know when you get there. Because if you do wuru to the answer, when they now turn the question around, you will not be able to know.
Exactly.
So, like my sister in one of the TV stations says, show workings. You must show workings.
Exactly.
We have left. Nobody's even talking about 2025. 2026. You see, average Nigerian politician is interested in election, not your betterment. Blossom, you can go and die. Like Oshomole said to that woman.
Why me? Why mention my name there?
What I'm saying is that because if you seated here and wait for this for any Nigerian government to help you to look into your own problem and not theirs, you are wasting your time. Like Oshomole said to that woman in Edo State when he was a governor, the woman that was a widow that was doing corn on the roadside, say she go and die. All right, that such person is still in a developed country. You don't say such a thing and get away with it. You should ask what happened to people like David Cameron. Even this the recently passed Canadian Prime Minister. All right, the kind of statement that they make and their political life will go down the drain.
Straight up.
But in Nigeria, you can say all the absurd and become, and there are people who are paid on the social media to defend them. So the more you are talking about them, they are bringing it. So their profile is going up. Tomorrow they will call them on the TV to speak about them.
Okay, Chief, apologies. I have to Comrade here waiting online. Comrade, let's go back to our topic. What we're discussing the I want to go because he spoke about the road where Akpabio said that Tinubu has worked on, and like he said, you can't give a child a pass mark when you've done just 30% in 100% exam or a work. But let's talk about the security part. Do you think in this administration for 2 years, according to what Akpabio said, do you think for a fact that security has improved from Akpabio's statement?
Well, I would say what this the way he has tried to balance with his comments and leadership at the National Assembly. Now, you see, if an average Nigerian will ask, Senator Akpabio, Gospel Akpabio, with all due respect, who is it to you in this present administration? Akpabio is a 2D, and the National Assembly as a whole, they are just a rubber stamp, assembly of administration. Now, last week, you heard him singing. I saw it on one of the online platforms. When he was singing, he coined a Christian song. Singing Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I couldn't remember that Christian song. He coined it today. Nigerians are happy for Tinubu. You are doing that. Is, can you imagine a politician that is he himself is only giving that that mark, that record of that past record. But when you go to the street, when you call, let us take it, do it like statistics. Go around, let us do, a forensic analysis of Nigerians, of people, of the vulnerable, of even the rich within Nigerians to make, their own view at this present administration. We have not seen a government that is worse in the Nigeria we are experiencing now. People have spent their savings in the past. We know people who save for tomorrow. You get it now. That they have saved certain money for emergencies for the future. But today, in the past, year of this administration, people started, withdrawing their savings. Today, within these 2 years, people who have the culture of savings have exhausted all they were the people ab initio that we are saying that no problem, the government will do well. The government will do because they have savings, the reserve that they have saved legitimately. The money they have saved legitimately, but they are using it, thinking it will get better. Speak to the 2 years down the line. What has changed? What has changed? Nothing. Now the rate of inflation is so high. We are talking of security that the country is more than what it was in the past. Who told you? Who is safe? In the country presently, we are even a police a retired general was kidnapped and ransom was paid in the history of our country. And it was a people by robbery and banditry and kidnapping is the order of the day. Go and check at the statistics. Do you get it? It's more pronounced and more, that ISO, more in the increase than what we are having before. So, they are not political businessmen, women who don't have the interest of country at heart. They are only enjoying their children again. Go and check. Both of them, they are children. They travel, they forget from one country to another at the expense of taxpayers, of this country. So what do you expect? So that by the time Mr. President comes in for a second term,
speaking, well, he actually does not also agree with the improvement, stating it's just what our politicians always do.
I think I would have appreciated if the politicians are talking about, because we are very quick at throwing numbers, stats, who do not reflect in reality the situation of things. Right? I would have loved a situation where politicians are saying, yes, there is a process. This process, yes, will have yielded any fruit yet, because Nigerians are still as poor as when Buhari was in power. All right? We cannot, even when Buhari was in power, we could actually 2 million naira, 3 million naira can buy you a Tokumbo car. Yeah. Today, you must have to cover 9, 7 million, 12 million to buy an average Tokumbo car. All right? Now, you could actually use, let's say in a suburb, you could actually use 500,000 naira, 400,000 naira to get a 2-bedroom flat. Yes. In the time of Buhari. Today, cannot afford that. You must have about 2 million
to get that.
So I don't even know where to begin to start with. The gari, the fufu, the rice. Go to Emir Mama Put today. You know what you pay to eat. I mean, in the times of Buhari, I'm not saying Buhari time was good, but with all the reform, we must begin to see progress, and we are not seeing progress.
And it's already 2 years.
We are not seeing progress. The progress that we see is only seen by the view of the politicians who are in the same bed with the ruling party.
But he's the worst is behind us.
That was. I want to also ask you as a host.
In 1 minute,
is it behind us?
Chief. In 1 minute.
No, is it behind us? Doesn't stop you from also a question and answering it.
Okay.
Because you are a Nigerian, except you tell me like Ghanaian, and you don't want to meddle in Nigerians' affair. So even as the host of the show, first and foremost. First and foremost, leave your home and come to this place. You can know how much you spend in transportation here. Today, people used to have 10,000 naira to go to Imo State. You have to pay 45,000 naira to even go to your hometown. It is bad. When something is bad, it's bad. The only people that are enjoying, they are seeing progress, yes, are politicians.
Okay.
We want to feel the progress too. And that's why we are saying what we say.
Thank you very much, Chief. That well noted, and of course we all know that. I'm just going to read one message from one of our favorite viewers on this show, just to wrap up the show. This one says, good afternoon, crew. The government is the worst in history. 2 years of nightmare, sorrow, tears and blood. This government is like a student that failed an exam, and you're praising yourself. Also, you want to promote, wanting to promote himself to another class. I used to say the foundation that brought this government into power is not credible. All that it does, like Dele Faritimi said, you can't bribe your way into power and expect development. This is what cash and carry Yakubu and Ariwola and Kekere forced into the throats of Nigerians. It's like putting an agri in a vault of a central bank. It's not. It will loot it around. That is why we are in this now. A government built on lies, square pegs in round holes, compromise of institutions, breeder of Education destroyer, they turn the people to beggars, and Amajaris in the midst of plenty, they turn the security against their paradise. It is a shame the worst of us is really in the best of us. Truly, there was a country. Anyway, obviously we know that's from Dio. Well, we'll just wrap up the show from here. I will say first, thank you so much, Comrade being on the show with us. Thank you so much. Despite we had very short time, I allocated to you to speak, but still able to give us good analysis. Thank you. So can we have him on the screen to just say thank you if he's still there?
It's gone.
It's gone. Okay. Thank you so much. If I know he's still listening. Thank you so much, Comrade Chief. Thank you so much. I could feel your pain, not just your pain, your voice of the people right here. So much for representing perfectly well. Thank you